Had some friends at work, folks at work, have sniffed out your podcast.
Yeah.
And are enjoying it, said you're doing a great job. And I had a couple come in and see me and they said, oh my goodness, Andrew is just like you. And you know what I said?
What?
He's not that good looking.
This is the 10 Minutes with Andrew podcast. And now, here's Andrew.
Welcome back to 10 Minutes with Andrew with a cold. I'm, of course, Andrew with a cold, and I'm getting joined by Mark Chansey. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me back, Andrew with a cold, for the 10th time this spring.
Probably. I would say 10, yeah.
Well, luckily, I haven't caught your colds every time you've had them.
Yeah.
So if you give me this one, I will beat you senseless.
Please don't.
What do you think about that?
Please don't.
So that was Bruno Mars brought us in this week. I don't know anything about Bruno Mars that I can relate to listeners because he's too new.
I don't know much about anybody.
I'm a dinosaur. I'm into older stuff, but he's quite a successful artist.
Yeah.
And can sing. And speaking of singing, take a look at your monitor. Aha! For those listening to the audio podcast. Have you ever heard anything so perfect? I've got a video of Andrew receiving his birthday cake yesterday and blowing out the candles up. In the 15 years I've been singing that to you, that may have been the best rendition.
You were singing to me when I was 1.
Look at the cake. Podcast, 10 Minutes with Andrew cake, which you haven't had yet.
No, because I was too full on friggin' pizza and chips.
Pizza and chips. It's a good party then.
It was a good party.
Now, he had 2 candles to blow out. Do you think this will be successful?
I think so.
Here we go.
Deux. Trois. Wow.
God.
Successful.
Good job.
Any parting words? Go Leafs, go.
Go Leafs, go.
Go Leafs, go. So another birthday goes by in May when the Leafs are not playing hockey.
Yeah.
Yep. So what are you going to do?
Well, yeah, what are you going to do?
So on another front, we were out having some fun Thursday. Here's Andrew teeing off on the par 3, number 3 at the North Course of Ballyhaley. Here's a birdie putt on 13. Look at this. Putting for birdie. Of course, you didn't make the putt. I would have made the putt.
You would have made the putt. I did not make any putt.
But you didn't make the putt. So you had a par on that one. You had a good round.
Yeah, pretty consistent. Never
Yeah.
been that consistent before.
That'll change. You'll be inconsistent again next time you're
I'm
out.
sure
Trust
I
me.
will.
That's the way golf works, of course.
Canadian Open's on this weekend.
Canadian Open is on this weekend. Mackenzie Hughes is only 4 back heading into the final round.
Canadian Mackenzie Hughes.
Canadian Mackenzie Hughes. Last year it was Nick Taylor.
Canadian,
who
incredible
won it.
putt.
Who won it. So could they go back to back with Canadians winning the Canadian Open? That'd be
quite something.
That would be cool, I must say. So
Yeah.
before we get going and we talk about what we're talking about today, and I won't give it away, but I'll probably do most of the talking, seeing how you're in sick bay again.
I am.
Had some friends at work, folks at work, have sniffed out your podcast.
Yeah.
And are enjoying it, said you're doing a great job. And I had a couple come in and see me and they said, oh my goodness, Andrew is just like you. And you know what I said?
What?
He's not that good looking.
I mean,
what are you going to do?
what are you going to do?
So, yeah, they have sniffed it out. And on another front, I had a number of people, family and friends, say, last week it was all about the would you rather.
Would you rather?
Would you
Toronto
rather,
edition?
would you rather. And they got all excited because they
Right.
thought it was going to be would you rather and whatever it would be. But they didn't realize it was all sports. So they said they really like listening, but they have no idea what we're talking about because they're not into sports.
Yeah.
So this week, we're going to put out a special Would You Rather podcast.
Yeah.
Non-sports related.
Non-sports.
It'll just be fun. Would you rather get bitten by a snake or stabbed with a knife? You don't have to answer.
Okay.
But that kind of stuff. Maybe not so grotesque or
Maybe not
graphic.
so gruesome, yeah.
Not so gruesome. But, So before I throw it back to you, the MLB Major League Baseball Power Rankings came out this week. And I like having a look at those to see mostly who's at the top of them,
Yeah.
right? Our beloved Blue Jays.
Yeah.
How many teams are there in the MLB?
30.
Yeah. So they are sitting in 24th out of the 30 teams, and that was 2 spots down from the previous week. They were 22nd. So they were 24th, and I'm just going to read from the Bleacher Report's summation of the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have yet to post a winning streak longer than 4 games this season, and that's still true. And that lack of momentum has them trending towards being potential landscape-altering sellers at the deadline. With Vlad Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, and Jordan Romano, closer Jordan Romano, who still can't close a door, all 1 year away from free agency, they could potentially join rentals Kikuchi, Justin Turner, Kevin Kiermaier, and Danny Jansen in a full-scale fire sale. So we're into June. This is June the 2nd.
June 2nd.
The Blue Jays have to figure out, are we actually going to do anything with this year, or just maybe we need to start looking at selling and retooling?
They should be selling right now.
So as we look towards the top of the MLB Power Rankings, the successful teams,
Yeah.
number 6 is the Dodgers. Would you be expecting them to be that low?
Not really.
No.
No.
They had a rough week. They were second the prior week. They got knocked down to 6th. Reported that Shohei Ohtani is playing through a hamstring injury. I didn't think players in baseball played through anything.
No, that's true.
But even with his injury, he's hitting .338 and 6 home runs in May. Injured. We'd take that, wouldn't we?
We'd take anything like that.
So then at number 5, you have the Baltimore Orioles.
Surprisingly.
They're 37-19 on the year. They were previously 4th. They dropped down to 5th. But Baltimore, again, no bona fide superstar on that team.
Not really.
Just a bunch of guys that can play baseball. The biggest shock to me, number 4, Kansas City Royals.
That's a shock.
Nobody saw that coming. And you know why it is?
Why?
Last year, their starting pitcher ERA for everybody was
Yeah.
over 5 per game.
That's crazy.
This year it's under 3. So pitching has really gotten them where they are. Then equally as shocking to me, in at number 3. Any guesses?
Cleveland.
Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland they're doing very well this season.
I didn't see that coming, but their bullpen is lights out.
Yeah.
So they are 10-6 in 1-run games, and they're 6-2 in extra inning games. And you know a fellow by the name of Jose Ramirez,
Yeah.
who Jays were rumored to be interested in the last couple of years, but
Yeah.
apparently not good enough for our roster. 57 RBIs
Already?
already. June the 2nd.
That's ridiculous.
Hasn't even played June the 2nd. So after June the 1st games, 57 RBIs, about a third of the way through the season. Number 2, you're cheating.
I'm not sure.
I saw you looking at my sheets. Who's number 2?
The Yankees.
The New York Yankees. They were
That
number.
doesn't surprise me.
They were number 3, and you remember all the fuss in April about Judge struggling and not getting it going, and we were comparing him to Vladdy and Bo and that.
Yeah, he's getting going now.
Well, let me just say, on the season, well, let's just talk about May. Hitting .383 in May, 12 doubles, 11 home runs, and 21 RBIs in May.
That's crazy.
Overall, the man has 21 home runs.
That
In June. We're June
is
1st.
insane.
21 home runs, 47 RBIs. Juan Soto,
Once I was just going to bring up
who
one
again
song.
the Blue Jays were rumored to be interested in, 15 home runs and 50 RBIs.
You said you didn't want one.
I didn't
so-
want Juan Soto, but I'd take 50 RBIs. But Ross
Yeah.
Atkins, again, the genius that he is, defense first. Defense first.
Defense
Defense first.
I believe I know who the first is, dude.
Yet all of these teams in the top of the power rankings are scoring runs at an incredible pace. 50 between Judge and Soto, they have 100 RBIs already.
That's ridiculous, man.
And the number 1 ranked team in the power rankings, still with the Yankees, Marcus Stroman, who wasn't good enough to come back, to stay with the Blue Jays or to come back with the Blue Jays when he was readily available and tweeted that he'd like to come back. He wasn't good enough for us. He's 5-2 this year with a 2.73 ERA with the Yankees. So good for Stroman.
Good for Stroman.
Another one that Ross probably didn't have a very good evaluation of So number one, of course, are the Philadelphia Phillies. They have the best record in baseball at 41-18.
They're a very good team.
So they were first last week. They're first this week.
My pick to win the World Series.
And if you want to talk about Ross Atkins and his inability to evaluate talent, I'll tell you a story about. You remember a fellow by the name of Jordan Hicks,
I do remember Jordan Hicks.
right? He was a free agent after being with the Blue Jays from the trade deadline last year.
Now he's in San Francisco.
Wasn't good enough to keep.
No.
Right? Weren't interested. No. Yeah, now he's in San Francisco, and the staff out there decided that he might be a better starting pitcher.
Yeah,
Guess
he's a
what?
starter, yeah.
He's a starting pitcher. He started 12 games this year, 63 and a third innings pitched, 2.70 ERA,
That's
and a 4-2
crazy.
record. But not good enough for the Blue Jays.
No, not good enough.
Not good enough. So we hear now that Alek Manoah is on
injured.
the IL, not the DL.
IL.
And this closer that couldn't close a door, Jordan Romano, has just been added to it with elbow soreness or stiffness or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So this also points to Ross Atkins, the genius that he is,
Right.
the lack of depth he has built into this team. So we have two pitchers now on the IL.
Yeah.
Who's taking their place?
I don't know.
There's nobody.
There's nobody that
There's nobody. The one guy we have that we've tried to put in places was Bowden Francis.
Yeah.
And how's that working for you?
Not very good.
Not very good. But hey, defense first.
Defense
First. Don't forget, that's today's theme, defense first. Okay?
Yeah, well, and the guy you would put in that place, the Rodriguez guy, he's on the IL too.
Yep. But defense first.
Defense first.
So I was listening to the Bob McCown podcast.
Well, pitching is defense, kind of.
There's pitching and there's hitting.
Yeah.
And we have, this year our pitching is not what it was the year before.
No.
And our hitting is as bad as it's been.
Yeah.
Right? But here's a question that they had that Bob McCown asked, and it's a good question because he agrees with me, or I agree with him, that this defense first is a load of crap in baseball.
It is.
Offense wins baseball games. If the Blue Jays scored 9 runs every game,
Right.
what would their record be after 162 games?
Pretty good.
Probably like 160-2.
Yeah.
They,
Probably.
they may lose a couple 11-9 or 12-9.
Yeah.
If the Blue Jays scored 6 runs every game, what would their record be?
80 something, 90 something wins.
Probably 90 odd wins.
Yeah.
Maybe 100 wins.
Maybe.
If you scored 6 runs every game,
Yeah.
right? So doesn't scoring runs win baseball games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
But
Blue
the Blue Jays score 1 run every game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 27-30 Blue Jays, I might add,
Lost 8-1 to the Pirates yesterday.
they had a 4-game win streak, but don't get too excited
No.
because they've had their healthy dose of games against the league's worst Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit skewed what you're seeing in this so-called soft spot in their season,
Yeah.
which has been the Tigers and the White Sox repeatedly, and the Pirates. They're 7-5 in their soft spot.
That's not what you should be in your soft spot.
So things are going to get a lot harder for our Blue Jays, but I'm wearing my Blue Jay hat.
Me too. My new
Still
one.
there. So what are we doing today, my son? That was a really long way.
Well, today-
to get back to you. What are we doing today?
We're going to do a report card. A third of the way through the season, we're going to do a report card on the Blue Jays and give them a grade.
Oh, okay. So we're going to do the position players. We're not going to do the pitching.
No.
We may do that another time.
Also, just want to mention this series against the Pirates.
Yeah.
Not yesterday's game, but the game before. They won in 14 innings, which was a tough game to watch because it was two teams that couldn't score any runs
Yep.
until the 14th inning.
Another article I read by Rob Longley of the Toronto Sun.
Yeah.
I think they won 5-3 in that game in
5-3,
extra innings.
yeah.
They went 14 innings. Most of the runs they scored were that extra guy on second base to start the extra innings where you get a free guy on second.
Yeah.
There's been basically 19 innings where the Blue Jays have scored 1 run against the Pirates. Not counting those extra ones where they give you a guy on second.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've scored 1 run effectively in 19 innings. So
Yeah. And they got destroyed by the Pirates yesterday.
Ross, it's time, my friend.
Yeah. And they got destroyed by the Pirates yesterday.
I'm okay with Ross having the fire sale.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with Ross rebuilding the team because this is what he built.
Yeah.
And he's already proven he can't build a winner. So if you want to sell off the assets and get us some, good, then depart and bring someone in that can build us a winner.
Yeah.
Right. So we're doing a report card
We
of
are.
our position players. And you got him ordered there by the number of at-bats.
Number of at-bats.
Okay, so we're going to give him a grade. Let's go through the list and give them a grade.
Yeah, I'm going to only give a few a grade because I haven't watched much Blue Jay baseball.
They're hard to watch, but
No.
you can certainly give a comment or two.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to start
Yeah,
with Vladdy Guerrero.
my favorite.
My favorite.
So Vladdy is hitting .292. That's very respectable. 25 RBIs and 5 home runs.
yeah.
He's had 10 doubles and 64 hits. So for me, if I were to give a grade, I could give a grade based on their performance overall as a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah.
And a grade based on what my expectation was.
Right.
So for Vladdy, I'd probably give him a B+.
B+?
Yeah, because I don't expect more than that out of Vladdy.
No.
I mean, he hits for average. He's up to .292. That's a bit high for him, I think. He's probably dropped down a little bit by season's end. But he is not producing runs.
No.
He was supposed to be another Shohei Ohtani type and Aaron Judge type run producer.
Another Vlad Sr.
But based on where we are right now on June the 2nd, he's on pace for 71 RBIs on the season, which is not what we were promised.
No.
And 15 home runs, which is also not what we were promised. Now, people kind of keep saying he's going to get it going. He's going to get it going. Okay, well, this is June 2nd. So at what point does this start?
I don't know.
So B+. If I were to rank him based on what everyone told us he was going to be,
Yeah.
this is a D.
Yeah. I'm going to give him a C,
Okay.
which is just an average
You're a
grade.
hard marker.
Because don't let the average fool you. He doesn't produce runs. But another part of that, which isn't really his fault, he gets on base. Sometimes he makes stupid mistakes and gets picked off, and that's his fault. But sometimes he gets on base and he's in scoring position. No one can bring him home because the Blue Jays don't have any offensive runners in scoring position. So that's really not his fault. But I give him an average C.
Okay. Well, they brought back the home run jacket for him, too. I don't think he's worn it yet.
No.
No. So that's not working.
No.
All right. Vladdy, you're kind of in the average area with us. So that brings us
To Bo Bichette.
shortstop Bo Bichette. Now, we're not even going to talk about their defense.
No.
This is more an offense thing. So Bo Bichette is up to 241,
Yeah.
25 RBIs, and 4 home runs. Not known so much as an RBI guy, but got to get his hits back up there. We could use a bit more power.
Yeah.
For Bo, got to give him a C.
Oh, really? I got a D- here.
I told you, you mark hard.
I do.
I'm a little bit more lenient. But
Just because, this guy, this is a disappointment. This is a shocking disappointment as it comes. I mean, this guy's usually your best offensive producer, and he hasn't done much.
you're right. If we're looking at term 1, which is start of
Yeah.
the season till end of May, he has been very much so a disappointment.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with a C-. And
All right, I go with D-.
you're going to D-. All right.
All right.
It doesn't get any better.
Nope. Brings us to George Springer. Can I start here?
Yeah, you can do it.
F.
Okay.
That's an F.
George is struggling, 204. That's actually up, his 204
It is
batting
up, yeah.
average. And 12 RBIs and 4 home runs. He's been dropped down to the 7 spot in the lineup.
Yeah, I saw a video on YouTube about the Blue Jays. Now they're struggling, and one of the things they talked about is this George Springer was the biggest signing a couple of years ago.
And makes a ton of money.
Like $25 million a year, I think it
Yep.
is, and this is just the proof, I think, that he's getting too old. He's getting too
People
old.
say that. Maybe. I don't know. I just think he's struggling right now.
Remember when Josh Donaldson, in 2018, was struggling, and then they had to get rid of him because he was just.
Yeah.
This is what he's going through right now.
But Springer's a leadoff guy,
Yeah.
right? That every now and then can pop 1 or 2 for you. I'm not giving up on Springer just yet. But he is making an awful lot of money. So based on what he's making and what the expectation is, I have to fail you, George.
Yeah, me too.
Your first term, you have failed. You must do better, or you will not be proceeding on to grade 11.
No.
So then we get to the next one.
Dalton Varsho.
Dalton Varsho, who Ross Atkins said has turned it around.
Apparently so.
He's turned it around. He's hitting what?
206.
206. He's turned it around.
He's turned it around 100%.
What did he come from if 206 is a turnaround?
Probably 106.
No, his batting average was higher than that last year. I think what they're referring to is he leads the team in RBIs with 30 and leads the team in home runs with 10.
Yeah.
So if I were project those numbers over the whole season, he could have 92 RBIs and 31 home runs, which would be a whole lot more than you ever would have thought you'd get out of Dalton Varsho. So yes, right there on the run producing and the power, he's getting an A from me.
Oh, I gave him a B.
The batting average is still too low. He's a great defensive fielder, but I'm not about defense first. There is no power from coming from the Blue Jays outfield, and that's
No.
a problem.
Yeah, I gave him a B just because of his RBIs and home runs.
So an
but he
A
needs
and
to
a
get his
B.
average up.
But you're such a harsh marker.
I am a harsh marker.
Oh my goodness! If I had you as a teacher, I'd like fake being sick every day. Get out of your class.
Well, I am sick, so.
Okay. That brings us to our fifth.
I'm going to let
Blue
you
Jay.
do these 5 and 6. So we're
Okay.
starting with Justin Turner.
Justin Turner, the big free agent signing that was going to fill the Brandon Belt void, which wasn't much of a void to fill because Brandon wasn't so hot either. Turner's up to 217 again. That's up because
Yeah.
he was really struggling below 200 for a while. What are we for
a bit there,
20
he-
RBIs and 4 home runs?
For a bit there, he was like their biggest offensive hitter.
Yeah, he was. He started the season on fire,
Yeah.
and then he just disappeared. My expectation was quite a bit higher for Justin Turner, although he is 40. So if Springer's too old, what's Turner? Huh?
Yeah.
But I don't think Turner's making what Springer's making.
No.
Turner, I got to give him a D.
Yeah.
He's just, if he could pick it up and get us a few runs batted in, we might actually score a few more runs and have a chance to win a few more ball games. Number 6.
IKF, Isaiah Kleiner-Falefa.
Yeah, so
He's a utility guy.
utility guy, 267. He's a pro, 17 RBIs, 4 home runs from a bat that doesn't hit home runs. I'm okay with that. He gets an A+ from me.
Wow.
Yeah. Didn't expect anything close to this. You actually feel like you might have a shot at a hit when he comes to the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So A+ for me for IKF, no doubt.
All right, we move on to Davis Schneider.
The incredible Davis
The incredible Ross Atkins
Schneider, to
words.
quote Ross Atkins. So in terms of my expectation,
Yeah.
I give him an A+.
Yeah.
Because I didn't expect him to
100%.
do this good. As a Major League Baseball player, starting every day, probably a B+. I mean, his numbers, his average has dropped significantly over the last couple of weeks. He's down to 239.
Yeah.
But he's the guy that seems to be coming up with the clutch hits in the few games the Blue Jays do win. Let's move on to our 8th Blue Jay.
Yeah, I gave Davis Schneider a C.
Okay. Again, you're just a harsh marker.
I am harsh.
So what we could do is just take what I give him
Yeah.
and drop it down a grade,
Yeah.
and that's your grade.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we'll do.
All right. So number 8, Kevin Biggio.
Kevin, I don't know, boy.
I don't know, man.
I think the time is up with Kevin. I think he could benefit from playing every day
Yeah.
and maybe getting into a rhythm to see what he is. But it's tough to be a major league hitter
Yeah.
when you aren't consistently getting at bats. He has 110 plate appearances, where Vladdy and Bo are up over 200.
Yeah.
So he's only playing half the time. Batting 200 and 9 RBIs and 2 home runs. I have a hard time grading this one because he doesn't get to play enough. But what we've seen out of him, his performance, it's a D.
Yeah.
You need more.
He's like this year's Espinal.
Yeah,
That's exactly what he is.
yeah. And he was touted as part of the. It was going to be Guerrero,
Bichette and Biggio.
and Biggio.
Yeah.
And Biggio never got the playing time or the exposure that the other two have. And I don't know if that's because they feel he's not good enough, and maybe he isn't.
Maybe.
But I don't know what we do with him.
Yeah, I mean, and now we're going to move on to Kevin Kiermaier.
Kevin Kiermaier, 212. Yikes. These averages are horrific. And what does he have there? 8 RBIs, 1 home run. How many doubles has he got? 4 doubles. So he's a great center fielder,
Yeah?
no doubt, and he can run fast and steal some bases. But overall, Kevin Kiermaier, I was expecting a little bit more. I'm going to throw you a C-, and Andrew's going to give you a D.
Yeah, I didn't write anything down for Kevin.
Ernie Clement.
Ernie Clement.
I can't comment on. He's had 100 plate appearances, similar to Biggio. Another guy that they're just kind of trying to fill in. Like, third base is a mess.
It is actually
They don't
a mess,
have a
yeah.
third baseman. Matt Chapman has moved on. And incidentally, he's not really hitting for average, but Chapman's hitting quite a few home runs and knocking in quite a few runs.
Yeah.
We could use that. But no. We're defense first. I forgot.
No.
We don't want runs.
Danny Jansen.
Danny Jansen.
I gave him an A.
Yeah, he would get an A. He's down to 287. Like, for a while, he was well over
Yeah.
300. He's had some clutch hits, specifically home runs. since he's returned from the IL. Again, only played in half the games.
Best hitter on the team.
So the question is, in term 2 of the school year, of the Blue Jay year, is he going to keep going backwards, as he has done the last little while, or is he going to go back to where he was when he got off the IL?
Yeah.
So I would give him an A.
Alejandro Kirk.
F. I don't even
Mr.
want
Kirk, I'm up to fail you, man.
I don't even want
F.
to talk about Kirk because I'm still harmed with the Moreno trade.
Me too.
And they got rid of the wrong catcher. Clearly. Kirk had that couple of months before the All-Star game a couple of years ago that he was on fire. Made the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And has done nothing since. It is not a good situation for a backup catcher. Hitting .214, 13 RBIs, and a home run. He has 4 doubles.
He does.
Where does he hit the ball in the park to end up on second?
I don't know.
Because he is slower than me.
Yeah.
I'm shocked at the 4 doubles, but no, I that's a failing grade for Mr. Kirk. You got to pick it up, old man.
And the final one, Daniel Vogelbach.
I don't know what to say about Daniel Vogelbach. I don't understand the signing. I guess it was no risk, low risk.
He came back. He was here before.
This is a guy who I can only say they wanted a left-handed bat.
Yeah.
He has no value anywhere else. He can't play a position on the field. He's just nothing.
He's nothing.
He's 208. He's a happy guy to have in the dugout. He looks like a lot of fun. In terms of my expectation, he's an A++ because this is what I expected. So he's met my expectation. In terms of a big league roster spot, I don't even want to give it a grade.
I think you have to fail him.
It doesn't even make sense to me.
No.
At all.
At all.
So overall, if you're going to rate the Blue Jays as a team from start of the season at the end of March till the end of May,
Yeah.
what is your grade to this point, sir?
C.
Really?
Probably D. I'm going to go D.
I'm going D.
I'm going D.
Borderline. Can you give an E?
You can't give an E.
Can't give an E?
No.
It's not a total F yet because there have been some bright spots. There have been some, like Jimmy Garcia's been, I don't want to say too much about Jimmy Garcia because it seems like he's starting to go down the slope
Yeah.
the wrong way. And some of the starting pitcher, like you say, Kikuchi was a great story, but his last couple outings he's been
Yeah, like yesterday. What about Tim Mesa? Because his numbers were nuts last year.
not the Tim Mesa of last year.
No.
And Jordan Romano has been horrific to the point that if he's coming in to close a game, there's a good chance we're not going to win it.
Yeah.
But he's on the IL now, as I said, with some elbow stiffness. So I don't know. I give him a D, and I really think we said this at the start of the year. This team's going to struggle to be a 500 club.
That's exactly
Right?
what they're doing.
This is June the 2nd. After the June 1st games, they're 3 games under 500. Their schedule is about to get a whole lot more difficult.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to make some decisions.
That's true.
Are we going to keep just scuffling along and maybe get to 80 wins and have a total write-off of a season, or are we going to start some kind of a half rebuild and get some assets and build up our farm system and become competitive again? Because we're a long way from competitive.
As long as Ross Atkins is here, none of that's going to happen.
Is that what you think?
That's what I think.
Okay. Well, normally this time of the show,
We'll be doing our weight loss.
we'd be doing our weigh-ins, but because it was your birthday, we're skipping the weigh-in. We skipped it last week,
Yeah.
and we're going to be skipping it this week.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want you feeling guilty about enjoying stuff at your party and that. So we're going to get back on it, but we're not going to weigh in until a week from this coming Thursday, right?
Right.
So you should be able to go down again.
Hopefully.
And we haven't been on the scale since. But other than that, I haven't got anything else to say. You got
Neither
anything
do
else to
I.
say?
I mean, this is, yeah.
And there's Bruno Mars. That must mean it's over.
It is over.
Don't forget to tune in this week at
the
some
bonus
point.
episode.
Yeah, for the bonus episode of Would You Rather non-sports edition.
Non-sports edition.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening and watching this episode, 10 Minutes with Andrew. If you found us on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe and comment. We'll be back next Sunday with the next episode, and hopefully I won't have a cold.
Hopefully you won't. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons and turn on notifications to be notified when we upload new content. You can also connect with us at andrewchansey.com.
When I see you